If there's one TF2 character who gets completely hosed on primaries, it's Scout. And I don't mean to say that some of his weapons aren't fun, I'm just saying that there's a reason why 80% of Scouts just run stock. I'm gonna see if I can do something about that, so I'm reworking every broken weapon in Team Fortress 2 with the desperate hope that Valve will do their jobs. Welcome to the Gun Garage. If Team Fortress 2 is a single-player indie platformer, the Force of Nature would be the coolest gun in the game. Unfortunately, this is a multiplayer shooter where people kill each other with icicles. Nonetheless, I think this gun's vast range of utility makes it pretty useful in any situation. You can do crazy jumps, launch people across the map, and hey, let me tell you, this never gets old. But the big drawback is how hard this weapon punishes you for whiffing. This thing will send you straight to the respawn timer when the pellets land, but any other shots feel like you might as well be shooting from the other end of 2 forward. So just for the fun of it, I tried playing on Untitopia where they have this weird mechanic called fixed bullet spread. Now, I hadn't heard of it either, but it's this funny thing where the bullets from your gun actually go where you aim them. And the Force of Nature is absurdly better when the bullets are consistent. I mean, that makes you think, like, they should make that a real game mechanic. You know, so the gun does damage sometimes. That's the fix, just remove random bullet spread. I promise the other guns are real fixes, but Valve, please just enable fixed bullet spread. Please. If there's one thing I like about the Soda Popper, it's that you can do this. And I don't know what this is. The Soda Popper has the old base jumper problem. It's too good if you know how to break it, and too weird if you don't. The faster firing speed makes it really difficult to line up good shots, but if you pull it off, it'll take people out faster than a kick to the beanbags. These crazy fast kills have actually caused the Soda Popper to be banned from competitive leagues. And that's not even to mention the hype meter, which has the exact same problem. For such a squishy class, actually getting the full 350 damage in one life is a lot harder than you'd think. But people who go crazy with this weapon get it charged pretty easy. And when it's charged, they can use the extra jumps to dodge every last projectile you throw at them. Meanwhile, newer players might struggle to get to use this ability, well, ever. The boost used to charge by running, which was admittedly too strong, but made the weapon such a blast to use. I feel like bringing back the running charge could make the Soda Popper way more accessible, as long as we add a few other changes. You could balance it all out by bumping the extra jumps down a couple. 4 or 5 jumps should be more than enough. And there's no reason why the gun should have 50% more firing speed. It's a stat that really only helps to break the weapon. Bump it down to 30%. I'd say that adding these changes would go a long way in making the Soda Popper way more accessible and a whole lot harder to break. The best thing the shortstop has going for it is that it's really good against statues who aren't looking at you. That's about it. I don't get what the upside of this gun is supposed to be. It shoots a bit faster, which, by the way, isn't mentioned in the stats, but the clip size is smaller and the reload takes way too long. In terms of pure damage, this thing is massively worse than stock. You gotta dump your whole magazine and then wait a whole 2 seconds for it to reload. If your clip runs out and your opponent isn't dead, they're gonna kick your butt. Not to mention that you take 20% more knockback, which, like, why is that even there? It's not really an upside or a downside, it's just weird. And then you get the shove. See, the funny thing about the shove is that you can't use it while you're reloading, so if you have automatic reload on, you just don't get to use your ability. This gun just does nothing. If you want to knock people around like a water balloon in a washing machine, just use the Force of Nature. If you want high frequency burst damage, just use the Soda Popper. It's a really hard gun to rebalance because it feels like there's no idea behind it. As a result, it's had quite a history of total reworks that turn it into a completely different weapon. Personally, I think its best iteration was when you got bonus healing. It's a cool gimmick that plays into the weird healer-scout subclass that would be usable if the candy cane wasn't the worst. I'd say bring back 20% bonus healing, get rid of the pointless knockback increase, and reduce the reload speed by like 0.6 seconds. The shove is pretty whatever, so you could just as well keep it or leave it. I still think it would be a pretty weird side grade, but at least it wouldn't feel like a direct downgrade 90% of the time. You. Yes, you. Do you want to play Spy but your team already has 5? Well, don't worry. Your friends at Valve have a solution. The Backscatter. Surprise your enemies with extra damage on back attacks. Warning, side effects may include inconsistent back hitboxes, arbitrary clip size reduction, non-existent mid-range damage output, difficulty aiming while reloading, genital necrosis, and many more. For real, this thing is the pits. 20% accuracy penalty is a joke. Most of the time, that stat alone just completely nerfs this gun's damage. When you actually get the many crits, the Backscatter does just as much damage as the Scattergun would have without the accuracy penalty. And with such a weak upside, the clip size nerf seems like it was added as a joke. I actually had a lot of fun using this thing, but it's just so much worse in basically every situation. This is the game that has Spy. People are checking their backs. Please just get rid of the accuracy penalty. This gun, it's so bad. It wouldn't even be good if you gave it normal accuracy, but at least it'd be fun. As it is, the Backscatter is a contender for the worst primary in the game. Wow. After all this, I'm starting to get the impression that there's no well-balanced scout primaries. No, wait. Actually, it looks like there's light at the end of the tunnel. People of the audience, I present... Wait. It's not that bad. I mean, you only lose, what, 75% of your boost for a double jump? Could be worse. Come on, it's not that bad. As long as you're not playing against burn effects, bleed effects, chip damage, anything with a blast radius, projectiles. I mean, that's only like 90% of the weapons in the game. It's pretty good against demo knights. Okay, it stinks. This gun is a cornucopia of bad decisions, and I don't need to sell you on that. The one saving grace is that when you're on full boost, you're feeling faster than a frog on water skis, but that lasts about 3 seconds before you get chipped by a 5 damage minigun bullet and you're back to snail pace. That's where you're at most of the time you use this thing. So what's the best way to fix it up? Well, I've cooked up 2 options. The good fix, and the cop-out, or Valve fix, as we in the industry call it. For the easy fix, get rid of the jump boost penalty, make the gun gain and lose boost way slower so it can scale over time instead of being all or nothing. Slower gain, slower loss, no jump penalty, boom. Now, if you wanted to make something special, I'd say give it a meter that charges after like 200 damage that you can activate to run at max 175% speed. The meter should be easy enough to charge that the passive speed debuff isn't really a big deal. There you go, more consistent side grade that doesn't get crippled by a light breeze. Sounds better than what we had, at least. Well, that's all of them. Thanks for sticking around. This type of content is really new to me, and I hope I did a reasonably good job. I'm planning to get started on the Soldier Primaries video next, so if you have some thoughts on any of those weapons, let me know. Until then, have a good day.